2013 was a really busy year and a really memorable year for the Hayward Gallery, but also for Hayward Touring and the Arts Council collection, all of which are under the Hayward umbrella. We really did go out on a limb with some very experimental programming. Light Show turned into an enormous success, but that wasn't guaranteed. The Alternative Guide to the Universe, that was charting kind of unknown territory. The exhibitions of Dianita Singh, a photographer from Delhi, and Ana Mendieta, a Cuban-born artist, were both bringing work to the UK that hadn't had a major showing. They were really all world-class shows. When I came on, the Hayward was not really curating its own shows at that point. The shows were developed with outside curators, or they were taken from other institutions. Since I've been here, we've pretty much generated almost all the exhibitions and toured them from Moscow to Stockholm to New York. There's a very strong international program, and that's allowed us to do shows we couldn't afford to do otherwise. This building was made by a very experimental team of architects in the late 60s, and it's a bit of an eccentric building. There are some very almost irrational spaces that are almost whimsical. So it's a mix, I think, the Hayward, of something that has this great solidity of a cast concrete building, but also has its own kind of playfulness.
When I did my show at the Hayward, people said, oh, it's a really difficult space, but actually it's a really beautiful space to work in because it's so varied. So every show that happens here looks different.
One of my key goals was just to make sure the artist's voice and the experience of art was as direct as possible for members of the public, and that the work is presented in a way that makes the audience feel that there's no permanent interpretation that stands for all time about what this work is about.
They kind of got it, the Hayward. They have a faith in the audience, that the audience will get it, and I think that's quite important.
Contemporary artists aren't making work that's impenetrable. They're making work about their experience of this moment in time and this culture, and that's accessible to everyone, especially if you present it in the right way. I'm completely delighted that we're nominated for this award, especially for this past year. To be acknowledged for when we're really doing things that not everyone's doing anymore, when you're really taking chances, that's the most meaningful time that you can be acknowledged. So it's really a tremendous lift to be nominated for this award.